Let's get to Kate Rooney for an exclusive. Morning, Kate.
Hey, Carl. Good morning. We do have some news to break before we get to our interview with Sarah Friar. It's on OpenAI. On top of the $6.6 billion equity raise, OpenAI has raised $4 billion in a revolving credit line. This brings the liquidity total to $10 billion for this round. One of the largest private fundraisers we've seen in Silicon Valley history and the largest credit line. So, of course, joining us to talk about all of that is OpenAI's CFO, Sarah Friar. Great to see you, Sarah. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about the news that just broke as we went to air. You are raising debt in addition to $6+ billion in equity. How did you think about the cost of capital? And talk about why raise debt in addition to billions of dollars in equity here?
Well, thank you. It has been a great last couple of days. So $4 billion in the revolving credit facility. It's undrawn at the moment. And that's really to give us flexibility with the business, particularly as capital needs might shift. We just want to know that it's there for us. The $6.6 billion in equity, now that's really about how do we go invest in the business from here. And I think what investors saw were three things. They saw the vision. OpenAI has really led what AI can be, what AI will be. ChatGPT kind of set that clock going about 2 years ago. I think, secondly, they see focus. We are focused on native AI products. So we just released O1 Preview, as you know, the only model that really stops and thinks before it responds to you, and then advanced voice mode. So now you're interacting with this technology in the way we are right now, super fluid. And then finally, the scale. We led with numbers as we talked to investors and to the banks. And what they saw was 250 million weekly active users. In fact, I just checked before I arrived. We released 200 million weekly actives right at the end of August. So in just a month, that number is up by 50 million. Wow. And so they saw the numbers as well. So we now have great investors, the best banks in the world, really joining Team OEI.
I was going to ask you about some of that growth. ChatGPT, for example, you mentioned the 50 million users in just the past month or so. Talk about some of the growth and the forecasting that would justify really doubling your valuation and that $150 billion. What's sort of justifying that number? Talk about some of the revenue growth that's behind that.
Sure. So as you can see with the user numbers, we've seen exponential growth, right? This is all done in about 2 years, which blows my mind. I've never seen anything like it in my whole career in technology. It's consumers, so a lot of that is ChatGPT Plus, but it's also businesses and even the smallest of businesses. What I look at in our enterprise business is we now have customers all around the globe, and we're absolutely revolutionizing industries like education and healthcare, right? These models can work on the toughest problems in the world. And of course, that's been backed up by revenue. Investors are not going to invest at a $157 billion valuation unless they see it starting to come through the business model. And I think that's what they got excited about.
And some new major investors on the cap table. NVIDIA is one that caught a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about their involvement and then some of the skepticism that the money that you're raising from NVIDIA, for example, is funneling back to their chips in terms of you guys buying chips that really returning to them in some ways. How do you address some of that skepticism and criticism?
Sure. So folks like NVIDIA, Microsoft, these are incredibly important partners in our ecosystem. I would actually say our relationship with Microsoft, if I start there, has been a generational partnership. What Satya and Sam saw together was incredible when you think when they started to put that investment together and put the partnership together. NVIDIA is another incredibly core part of that, right? What they're doing with GPUs, what they're doing in the tech stack, is what's enabling a lot of this. But it's not just those two. It is a much broader ecosystem that's forming. And I think this is what's also important about the fundraising we're doing right now. And as we continue to grow, is we're bringing along a whole ecosystem. Sam talks about this as the age of intelligence. I think of it as how then that becomes an age where it lifts people from a prosperity standpoint. We joked earlier, I'm a European that masquerades as an American. I really think long and hard about how this technology is going to go into the world and how it's going to lift people, generally speaking, by providing everyone with human-level intelligence.